Okay, going back, modification of stem for storage. Now we will discuss about this sixth point. How do they modify themselves for storage? Now, in some plants, the stems are underground, right? So there are very few plants where, mostly what we see is, stem is an aerial part, as in it's out of the soil. But in some cases, the stem is underground as well, right? That is what happens in the case of potato. That is what happens in the case of onion, right? So these are underground stems which are modified to store food materials and help the plant to survive unfavorable conditions. For example, what do they mean when it's unfavorable condition? For example, just imagine that this is a potato plant, right? So there was, if not drought, but there was no rainfall. The farmer did not water the potato field for maybe 2-3 days or maybe for a week, right? But potato plants needs to be watered every single day, many a times also twice a day. So what will happen is that the potato has stored a lot of water, it has stored a lot of starch. So when the condition is unfavorable, that means the farmer is not watering, so that is when all the stored food will be again utilized by the plants. So this is kind of a reservoir for them. They reserve the food, the water, they reserve when in need. In case of emergency situations, in case they would need, then they would use it. Correct? So underground modification of stems as they possess nodes and internodes. Now the main modifications are as follows. This is what I was discussing, that of a potato.
Ma'am, can you please go back to that slide?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And can you please explain modification A part? I didn't understand it too well.
See, this is the sixth point that we are elaborating here, right? The stem has been modified in different ways. One particular modification is for storage of food, right? The food that is being prepared, right? Because it is underground, the stem is underground also, which is a little swollen, right? In this case, this is a potato. What do we know? Potato is full of water and it has a lot of starch in it, right? When the situations are unfavorable, when the plant does not get enough water, then what happens is that the plant derives its nutrition from the stored stem, right? This stem then provides all the nutrition, maybe for a day, 2 days, 3 days, or whatever. It provides nutrition to the plant. That is one aspect. The second aspect is also that all of you must have seen potato, at home. You will see that, potatoes have something like this. This is known as the eye. It actually resembles something like this. That is called the eye of a potato. You will find from the eye of the potato, if you keep a potato like that for a month, where the temperature is a little moist, not very hot, neither very cold. After a month or so, you will find, small whitish, yellowish, greenish kind of buds coming out, right? And then if you just allow it to just stay like that for another month or so, you will find, small plants coming out. So from where are these plants getting its nutrition? And that one potato is capable of giving rise to 15 to 20 potato plants. You will be surprised, at times even more. So, the potato has a lot of water and starch, nutrients, as I said. So the plant that is growing will get its nutrition from the storage, from the water and starch that has been stored in the potato. Right? So this is how the stem has been modified. And whenever the situations are unfavorable, it is brought to use. It is used up. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, this kind of thing is called tuber. This is what we were discussing. This is tuber, right? Normally, the flesh, the skin of a tuber is normally very thin. You know, you will see your mom peeling the skin of a potato. The peel is the outer peel is very thin, right? And as I said, you know, the place from where the buds come out is called the eyes. It actually, you know, smaller, bigger, all kinds of sizes you will get, but this will be a little kind of an inverted C. It also has some scale leaf-like structure. This swollen structure that stores food, which is mainly starch and water, is called the tuber. So an example for a tuber would be potato, right? Now next, coming to a bulb. As I said, you know, even onion is a stem. An onion is also a modified stem. We will not call it a stem. We will call it a modified stem. Why is it a modified stem? Because it is a bulb-like structure. All of you must have, yeah?
Let's set out from the figure number A. That is about the tuber of potato. There is one given like scar of scale leaf, scar of stem. What does it mean, scar?
Scar matlab, you know, there's a small dent. There's a small mark. Scar means a mark, right? There's a small mark from there, you know, a new plant would come out.
Okay.
The eye, yeah. Okay. Now next, coming to the bulb, the onion, which is also a modified stem. Here what happens is that it resembles a bulb. It looks like a bulb-like structure. It has fibrous roots, right? It has fibrous roots, and the outer leaves, even in an onion, you will see the outer layer peels, you know, is very, very dry. It is extremely dry, right? You'll have to throw those outer peels, outer layers of peels, you have to throw it out. You can't use it. It's scaly, right? Only the inner layers is something of an onion that we normally use, which is very watery, which is very fleshy. The scales, why is it watery and fleshy? Because it stores a lot of water, it stores a lot of minerals. You know, onion is very rich in sulfur and various other minerals. Of course, water is something which is very um, abundantly found in onion. Right? So these, and the root you will find is very minimal. You know, it's got fibrous root which is very minimal. Even an onion, when left untouched for a month or so, you will find from the inner portion there will be a radical coming out, a plumule coming out, that is a small shoot coming out. If planted in soil, this will again give rise to an onion plant. Correct? So these are all a part of vegetative reproduction. This doesn't need a seed. Onions have seed. It grows from seed also, but it grows from a bulb also. Correct? A tuber, a potato, mainly grows from the stem. It doesn't have, I doubt if a potato has a seed. Right? So these are all part of vegetative reproduction in spite of having seeds. Okay. Now we come to rhizome. Somebody was asking, Pamika, I guess, for rhizome. Rhizome,
Ma'am,
yeah,
excuse me, ma'am. Is
yeah.
garlic an example of like bulb for like bulb storage?
Yeah, garlic is an example of bulb. Garlic is an example of bulb. You will find there are too many bulbs. You know, garlic also has an outer layer which is very scaly and we have to throw that layer out. And the inner layers are juicy and watery. It stores a lot of water and other minerals. Okay. Is there anybody else who wants to ask any other question about bulb and tuber?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So now next going to rhizomes. What are rhizomes? Rhizomes are also modified stem, right? And very classic examples for rhizome is ginger and turmeric. Both of them look almost the similar. Almost they look similar. They all, you know, grow underground. Okay. This grows underground. Potato, onion grows underground. Ginger also grows underground. Right? These are all common features that they grow underground. They are swollen. They store food. Right? They are modified stem. Now, what happens is that this ginger has very clearly, all of you must have seen ginger, they have very clearly marked nodes and internodes. I hope by now all of you know what are nodes and internodes. Yeah. So from these nodes, there will be the small outgrowth coming out. From here, there will be a bud. The bud will grow, and from here again, a small piece of ginger will come out. Right? Every node, almost every node, will have a small bud, and then it grows up to become a extension of the ginger. That is how ginger, you will see it grows in all sides and all directions. Right? And they have adventitious roots. So the category of ginger with the kind of roots that they have is called adventitious roots.
Turmeric also has adventitious roots.
Yes, turmeric and ginger, both of them will have adventitious roots. That's, a very common thing between them. Okay, now, sorry. Here, we were discussing the modification of stem for storage. That was point number A. Now coming to point number B. What is point number B saying? In cactus plants, you will see the stem becomes fleshy and green. All of you, I'm sure, must have seen cactus, right? Now, if this is the cactus, right? This is the cactus. And there are spines like this. It has got spines. Now, what is this green portion, which is very soft, succulent, but we cannot touch because of these thorns? The spines are very sharp. That's why we can't touch. So basically, this green fleshy portion is basically a modified stem. And what we call the spikes or the spines are basically modified leaves. Can you believe it? So these leaves are not green in color. Rather, the stem is green in color. The stem is fleshy, and it is very fleshy, very thick, if you have noticed. Right? You must have also seen aloe vera. Nowadays, many have aloe vera plants in their garden. So, this is actually the stem, and what you see in the sides are basically the spines like this. Right? So, these are all modified stems and modified leaves. So, why do they have to change or adapt or modify themselves?
Ma'am, then in aloe vera, which is the leaf?
The spines are the leaf. Yeah. Basically, in layman's language, we call it leaves, as in we call the leaves only leaves, right? But actually, scientifically, if you see, the spines are there. Correct? Now, in a desert area, if you go, there you will find there's very little water, right? And there are only animals which are like cactus. There are animals which are like only camels, right? And camels eat only grass. So what would they eat? The moment they see a cactus, they will come to eat. But so that the camel doesn't eat the cactus, as a defense mechanism, it will have these spines. The camel will come to eat, but the moment it sees the spine, it will go away. Okay. And the stem is very intelligently done by nature. It is green in color. So because the leaves here are like spines here, so the stem is green in color. The stem does the part of the photosynthesis. It will have chlorophyll, and the stem will make its own food. The work of the leaf will be carried on by the stem here. So here, the stem is modified. Correct? Okay.